If you watched any amount of Valorant tips videos, you've probably heard the term VOD reviewing used. But how do you VOD review? Do you need someone else to do it for you? What should you look out for, and is it even any good at all? In this video, I'm gonna give you all the answers to those questions, so stick around. My name is Buster and I make educational Valorant content, so if you like those kind of videos, feel free to subscribe. With gamesense being the most important part of Valorant, next to aim, it's clear where people want to improve on it. VOD reviewing is a topic frequently mentioned when it comes to improving your gamesense, and that's because it really works. All VOD reviewing is recording games you play and then rewatching them and analyzing them later. I want to preface this with saying that VOD reviewing won't magically improve your gamesense, as it's something that gets better with time and experience. VOD reviewing consistently can help you spot bad habits and common mistakes you make, which is very helpful. Now to the first question. Do you need someone else to review your VODs for you? The short answer is no, you don't. But it can be very helpful to get an outsider's opinion. There's multiple reasons for this. If you get help from someone more experienced and higher ranked than you, then they can probably find mistakes in your gameplay that you didn't even know were mistakes. They can also give you more advanced tips and advice that you yourself maybe can't come up with. The biggest issue with only reviewing your VODs by yourself is that a lot of times the mistakes and bad habits you do are so deeply ingrained into your gameplay and brain that they're really hard to see as mistakes. If you've been playing the game for a year and in every game you play you've been doing a specific thing that happens to be a mistake, then chances are you won't notice it since you're so used to it. This is especially common with small mistakes and bad habits. For that reason, taking help from someone else could be beneficial. Moving on to the next and probably most important question, and that's what to look for when VOD reviewing. The simple answer to this question is any mistakes you see. But it can be really hard to know which things are mistakes and also which mistakes are worth thinking about. The reality is that every player makes mistakes, some less often and some more often. Therefore, it's important to not get caught up in all the small details, but instead focus on recurring mistakes, also known as bad habits. This could be anything from you dying too often because of overaggression, to you playing duelist and notice yourself very rarely going in first. This is why I recommend you to consistently VOD review instead of just doing it once in a while. Because the more time you spend on it and the more games of yours you watch, the higher chance there is of you noticing patterns in your gameplay that could be detrimental to the performance in game. Try to look at when you died and ask yourself why you died. Was it because of losing an aim duel? In that case, you might think that there isn't much that can be done for that, but there are things such as your ability usage, positioning, and crosshair placement that comes into play. Maybe you didn't lose a duel because you had bad aim. It could be the fact that your crosshair was in the wrong spot, or because you played in a very common position that always gets cleared and therefore the enemies have the peaker's advantage. There's tons of reasons for why you died or lost a round, some clearer than others, but asking yourself the simple question of why did I die or why did I lose will most times result in you finding some reason for why that might have happened. Repeat that over 50 rounds and you're guaranteed to have spotted a lot of bad habits. Now it's just time to get in game and start correcting them. But this is where a lot of people go wrong. You might have noticed that there's a specific thing that often makes you die and you finally know it, but then the day after you get in game and do the exact same mistake again. This is why I always advise you to ideally get in game right away and practice on that aspect, or at least write it down so you remember it. A common issue for people is that they take in a lot of information but never actually do anything with any of the tips, so make sure you don't fall into the trap of information overload. So to do a little recap, VOD reviewing by yourself is fine, but having someone else who's preferably higher ranked watch your VODs every now and then is a good idea. VOD review often and not just once every couple of weeks or every month. Look for reoccurring mistakes and bad habits. Start taking action and consciously avoiding the mistakes. Do all of this and your game sense will improve quicker than ever. But game sense is only one part of the equation, and now that you know how to improve on that, check out my aim guide to improve your aim as well. See you there.